Hello again everybody, and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel Knowledge with Nandini. Today we are talking about packing of articles for sterilization. We have discussed cleaning, inspection and assembling of instruments into trays. If you have missed these videos, you can still watch them on this YouTube channel. After this, the trays need to be wrapped or packed before sterilizing to protect the contents from getting contaminated when they come out of the sterilizer. Hence, the purpose of any sterilization packaging system is to allow sterilization of the package contents, maintain the sterility of the contents until the package is open, and allow the package to be opened with minimum risk of contamination. What we call aseptic removal of the contents into a sterile field. This packaging material, along with the label and the closure mechanism of the set, is called a sterile barrier system. First, let us see the packaging material itself. The qualities required are: it should allow air removal and permit sterilant penetration of the package contents. Obviously, if the sterilant doesn't go inside, it cannot sterilize the package. Secondly, it should not allow the germs to go inside. So the sterilant goes inside but no germs. That is, it provides a barrier to microorganisms during the handling, distribution, transport and storage of the goods. That is, keeps them sterile up till they are used. Other desirable qualities are: it should resist tearing or puncture. It should be free of toxic material, obviously, and non-fast dyes. Non-fast means which could leach out color into your set, and it should not have any linting properties. That means it should be non-linting, not shed any fibers, and be compatible, most important, with the method of sterilization as well as the device to be sterilized. The choice of packaging systems or the packing material includes flat wrappers, or as AAMI, Association for Advancement of Medical Instrumentation, calls it, sterilization wrappers. These are woven or non-woven fabrics. Most of you are familiar with it. The woven wrappers we use here in India are usually 100% cotton, which we commonly call as linen. Though cotton and polyester blends and other synthetic blends are available, but these are not common in India. At least I haven't seen any in my long career. Non-woven materials are made of plastic polymers, cellulose fibers or paper pulp, and these are bonded under pressure into sheets. They are not woven on a loom. Obviously, that is why they are called non-woven fabrics. Commonly available here again are what we call crepe paper and SMS sheets. These are used usually for larger sets, and craft paper, which can be used for envelopes. Yes kids, paper is also a non-woven wrapper. So after the flat wrappers, we have peel pouches. They are usually made of plastic and paper. The plastic can again be made of a variety of materials, including cellophane, polythene and other combinations. The last option is our solid containers. These include our various trays, again very popular in India, or we have the containers with lids, gaskets and filter mechanisms. These we call rigid container systems, and they are specially designed metal or plastic containers. We will talk about all these a lot in my next video. Trays are commonly used with or without lids. We will also mention about what are STUs and DIN trays, as I get a lot of queries about these in our next video. because today we are going to see the general principles. First, something that everyone worries about. We must see how to select the right packing material. First of all, as we said before, it must be compatible with the sterilization process chosen. It must withstand physical conditions like temperature, moisture, pressure or vacuum of that particular process. We will see shortly which one is suitable for which process. If possible, the manufacturers must provide documentation of the quality control tests they have carried out and also its compatibility with the different methods of sterilization. Wraps come in various sizes and grades. That is the sturdiness. The wrap must be of sufficient size and grade to adequately cover and support the weight of the medical device or tray. If the wrap is too large, it will be very difficult to wrap the contents inside and more difficult to open aseptically. And if the wrap is not sturdy enough, not thick enough, it may tear during handling. So this is common sense that heavy instrument trays require sturdier wraps, and also the instruments themselves require sturdier trays. For rigid containers or trays, if they have sharp edges, then we need corner protectors. Whenever you buy new containers or trays, kindly select those with rounded edges so that this problem is resolved. You can also have protective tray liner between the instrument set and packing to reduce tears to the packing material, which would occur when the instrument sets with sharp edges cut the wrapper. Just as we have an inner lining inside the tray to stop the instruments from moving around and absorb moisture, we can also have an outer tray liner. If the packing material is damaged, it also compromises the sterility of the packet. Small light articles like dressing material or can be packed in paper envelopes, and single instruments or small sets of few instruments can be packed in peel pouches. Now coming to a very, very important point which I like to emphasize and which most facilities forget. Facilities need to develop policies and procedures for all packaging techniques. Okay, here we are using packing and packaging interchangeably. So the wrapping procedure should be standardized. It's not up to each technician to select the size of wrapper he wants or the type of wrapper he wants. These have to be standard. They should be written and illustrated. What is illustrated? Drawn diagrams or printed out procedures for preparation of the sets to be packaged. These should be readily available. Maybe they can be kept with your SOPs, and they should be used by personnel when packaging procedures are performed. All the same sets and packs should be packed in the same trays with the same wrappers each time, and these trays and wrapper sizes should be mentioned on the checklist. This avoids confusion to the end user, as all your packets of the same material or the same set should look alike or would look alike. Just as we said before, the contents should be arranged in a way which looks the same no matter which technician packs. The set itself should look the same. Another important point which we tend to neglect, I know that I have neglected it for a long time because there was not that much awareness then. Whenever any changes are made to packaging, like changing the type of packing material or the containers which are used, or changes in the package dimensions or the content weight, product testing should be re-performed. This implies you have already tested your every set, pack and tray when it was first introduced. Maybe we will have one video on product testing. So this test or retest should include biological indicators, BIs, and chemical indicators, CIs, as well as moisture content assessment, that is wet pack assessment, after the cycle is complete. These particular packages cannot be used obviously because the CIs have to be checked and read and the BIs have to be incubated. A major issue is the weight of the instrument set. It slowly creeps up by addition of instruments on the OT requests. Some of the sets from the manufacturer, or what we call loaner instruments, are almost too heavy to lift. As we have seen before, and we know very well now, the total weight of the sets plus their container and packing material cannot exceed 25 pounds or 11 kilos. This is as per AORN, as per AAMI and everyone. In fact, I'm going to say something radical now, something that I believe in. We could set a lower limit in our hospital for the convenience and health and comfort of the CSSD and OT staff, as well as it makes for better sterilization because the sterilizing agent can penetrate faster through the smaller trays. Okay, so let us set our own limits. 11 kilos is the maximum. Though I have seen in most hospitals, it exceeds 11 kilos. We should remove instruments which are not used in that particular surgery. This is one way of reducing the weight of the sets. Be in touch with the OT technicians and nurses and make them your friends instead of quarreling with them all the time, as I have often seen the case. Stop merging sets. Start dividing sets, especially loaner instrument sets. Speaking about compatibility with the sterilization process, for steam, we mostly use wrappers, though paper and peel pouches can also be used. Yes, you heard me right. Peel pouches can be used in steam, provided one side is made of paper and the other side can withstand heat. This is very common to use peel pouches in steam. When using Ethio, coming to Ethio sterilization, the packaging systems must be EO, moisture and air permeable. We already said if the sterilizing agent or sterilant, which is EO in this case, cannot penetrate the package, then we cannot get sterilization. And also there is some amount of moisture or vapor in the EO sterilization process, and air of course always has to be allowed to be removed. Okay, so it should also allow proper aeration of the gas, as we know EO is a dangerous gas. Therefore, it should be constructed of a material recommended by the sterilizer and sterilant manufacturer. You remember sterilant, the sterilizing agent, EO gas in this case. It should also be compatible with the rigors. Rigor is not the shivering rigors, that is with the rigorous process of Ethio sterilization. Peel packs, wrappers, woven and non-woven, and some rigid container systems are permeable to EO. You have to check with the manufacturer of the rigid container. Coming to hydrogen peroxide vapor sterilization, these packaging systems must allow vapor phase or gaseous hydrogen peroxide to penetrate the packaging material. Again, it should be compatible with the process and recommended by the manufacturer of the sterilizer as well as the devices to be sterilized. Because cellulose products are not compatible with hydrogen gas plasma, so we cannot use paper or linen in plasma sterilization. So peel packs used in these sterilizers must necessarily be made of plastic, both sides. Tyvek is the common material used. Tyvek is a brand name, but it is commonly used for hydrogen peroxide sterilization packaging. The container systems, or again like before, which have been validated for this particular application, that is hydrogen peroxide gas sterilization, only can be used. Let us see closures now. Closures are simply what we close the packet with or secure the packet with or fasten the packet with. They ensure that the package remains together. The most common closure for packages or packs is indicator tape. Sterilization indicator tape with or without an indicator should be used to close packages. Not safety pins, pieces of gauze or lengths of gauze, not paper clips, not stapler pins, or we cannot sew the package together, as in stitching it, as all these would pierce the material and allow entry of germs. I hope you are making some changes in your CSSD because it's a lot of labor to write and speak these lectures. Okay, so if you are using any of these, stop now. Tapes not designed for sterilization may not hold their seal. That's why I've written sterilization tapes. And also, they may not allow steam penetration. So, the steam can't penetrate through the tape and may not reach the interior or the content of the packing. Also, the closure should not constrict the pack and it should allow the pack to remain sterile, just like the packing material. Coming to labels, the label should remain securely fixed to the pack from the time of sterilization to the time it is used. A sterilization tape without indicator or an adhesive paper or external indicator tapes or labels, all of these can be used for the purpose. Again, they have to be made of a material which is steam penetrable and which leaves no sticky material on the wrapper, especially in case of reusable wrappers, because these sticky material do not come off easily. Tapes which are meant for the patient's skin should not be used, or sticking plaster should not be used, because they may not allow steam to pass and also they may leave a residue behind which won't come off during washing. The label must compulsorily contain the name of the set or the linen pad, the lot number, identification of the sterilizer and the cycle, the date of sterilization and the expiry date, and if required, you may add the name of the user department. If the pack or set is small and it has no checklist, then the initials of the packer are required on the label. Otherwise, these would be on the checklist. Handwriting on the label should be clear and visible. It should be totally readable, not scribbled on the label. If a mistake is made, the label should be discarded and rewritten. There should be no cancellation or overwriting, because this will confuse the user. And I guess you all know this, that we should never write directly on the packaging material. Ballpoint pens should be used so that the ink does not spread onto your packing material. It is best to use a gun with printed labels or labels which you have printed on a printer. They can be used. These type can also be barcoded. If at all you need to write on the peel pouch directly, you can use a marking pen, but write only on the plastic side, because on the paper side the ink could go through to the contents. Also, if you write on the paper side, your ballpoint may make a small hole in the paper which may not even be seen, and thereby compromise the barrier protection of the paper. It is very, very important that the employees responsible for selecting and using packaging systems should be knowledgeable about sterilization principles and refer to written procedures when in doubt, as we said earlier. The competency of each staff member responsible for packaging should periodically be evaluated and documented. This is also true for sterilization, issues, receiving. We have to actually evaluate their competency and also document it on a file, a separate file for each technician. Another point which I find very important is that packing should be performed by the department responsible for sterilization. Do not send pre-packaged items do not sterilize pre-packaged items sent to your department. What if there's a small bug inside? When the user opens it, he will immediately blame the CSSD. What if something is dirty inside? So please do not sterilize what you have not seen. Okay, open it, have a look. If necessary, you might have to re-clean it, or you can get back to the department who has packed it. So I think this has already become a very, very long video. We'll talk more about the types of packing material in our next video. Thank you. Let me sign off now. Bye.